it's me, Laura B at Craft and See with Laura B. This is my second time today because my first one I remembered at the very last second, OM to the G. I uploaded a video for tomorrow and Friday, but I never did the description because I was really busy. Of course, I set today's to go up at noon, which is when tomorrow's. Today on Wednesday, it is going up today at noon. Fridays will go up at 5 a.m. and I had to do the descriptions for both, especially today's, and I was like, oh my god, I forgot. Anyway, so an hour to spare. It's gonna go up. Anyway, this is my fall journal that I'm starting. It's not gonna be a very big one. Anyway, so what I did is I took the green file folder, I just stick everything in, the hanging Pendaflex folders. And I don't know if you remembered, about 1.5 years ago, I did this, and it looks like this. It is tissue paper. It's 12 inches and long, and what I did, 8.5 by 12 is what they're measured. And what I did is laid a long stencil over it and sprayed it with this barn door, or fossilized amber. The other one is barn door or fireman or whatever it is. I backed it onto, this is not Junk with Steph, the Junk Journal Studios background paper for fall. I believe that's who it is. You will hang on one moment and let me double check, because I don't want to be wrong. Because, God forbid I'm wrong. Facebook kit number 2. So that's that's Junk with Stuff. All right. Good God Almighty. The Junk Journal Studio. Sheeshus. I just can't get that straight. So here's the front and the back. So I just taped the corners on these so it wouldn't show as much. And as you can see, as my note is, I'm going to sew all the way around this. All right. The other kind of sew. We open it up. I've already reinforced the backing, the spine ×2. And what we're having here is these papers are from Luise Heinzle, her one of her jelly prints. I can't remember the name of it. And this is Junk with Stuff. And so what I did is when I folded these over, take this off, and I had to reinforce right here. I chose to reinforce with just paper I found, the holes. And then this will go here. And this is the part I cut off, and it perfectly works for another, to make it a double pocket. So that is what we're going to do right now. Again, I've said it ad nauseum. I'm fixing to have surgery this Friday in 2 days. And therefore, I don't know when I'm going to finish this. I may do a lot upstairs off screen. I may not. I do not know. I have not figured it out. So I have pre-inked all of my papers. Some with Crackling Campfire, and a couple of the Luise Heinzle with the ground espresso. I figured I don't have to do the same ink on everything, right? So let's move this. Let's get everything done. So how is everyone today? Outside of my greeting, what are y'all working on? Have you started fall yet? I figure summer's, not even halfway yet. It's just a little over a month into summer, but I'm always late to the party when it comes to crafting and holidays, so I figured, well, let's start on fall already. And if you remember, I choose not to use glue stick because of the gloopiness and the globbiness, and then it gets piles, you know, chunks of it underneath, and it gets everywhere, and yeah, it's just a pain. I always have to have a rag to wipe my hands. I mean, I try to always have one anyway, just to... So I'm just gluing the edges and where... My nose is running. And where the tape is not. See if I got this on here, I think. There. And as you know, double-sided tape does not last. It is for short, as we used to say in the home decor, quick acting and long lasting. So the tape is for the quick grip, like in the extra recording. I don't remember what I was doing the other day. I was attempting to film something, and I ended up doing half of it without even recording it, thinking I was, because, you know, why do something when you can just think you did it, right? So I'm pretty sure I have the last minute stuff done. For the, you know, 2 months of being one-legged. However, okay, good, I did it right. Yes, you did it right, because you have everything. Trying to get to the same. There we go. Man, my nose is running and I didn't even realize. There we go. Alright, there. That one went there. These are actually, I want them matched like that. And this to that. Alright, so the first one we're going to do are these. Well, actually, we will hook these just so I know where they're going. I have to do this or I get confused. Y'all know how I am. Hopeless, y'all. I'm hopeless. Absolutely hopeless. What good am I? Nothing. I'm good for nothing. I'm just teasing. I'm not saying that in reality. So up. Remeasure everything. Make sure I got it correctly. And I don't know where I'm going with this. Just FYI. I do know that I will be using myriad of papers. Obviously. Alrighty. This is not a design team project. I'm thinking of one. One is brewing in my head for Kyung Shotwell. She's so gracious. She's not like, how come you haven't gotten something down? She is really laid back. And I appreciate that. Alright. So, there we go. One. Let's do the other one. I need to refill my glue. I'm really trying to learn this gun where to end it so it doesn't go off the rails all the time or not extend all the way down. There we go. So until I learn that, I'm kind of slow with it. Oh, let's see what else. So I did my flip through and everything. So y'all know I went to the Mariners game on Sunday. Mariners versus Astros, Seattle, Houston. And, you know, they won. Mariners did. I texted Kandace Johnson at Journal Me Crazy with Kandace Johnson. By Kandace, I can never remember. Is it by or with? I think it's with. Let's see. Kind of want to get it to match up as closely as possible with the other side. All right. So, and let me get a. I am choosing not to use my traditional. I use the round hole punch. I've decided not to do that. So this will go like this, and we will glue it all down after we get the papers on and get thumb notches in there and all that stuff. Okay. So I went to the Mariners game, had a good time. Tried to get in and out, practice getting in and out of my shower one-legged, and even though it's a walk-in shower, I'm telling you, it was a pain and a half. And it took multiple tries, and I was upset, and, you know, at one point I was, like, crying. Not, like, sobbing, but just angry tears. Because I couldn't get it figured out. So Joe's caregiver, he has a once-a-week caregiver for 4 hours. He came in after, and, you know, when he was done with Joe, and tried to, we figured out a plan. It wasn't easy, and I ended up barking my left shin on, good God, I need to clean this, on the, sorry, that way. Oh well, who cares? Leave it. Barking my shin on the, where the shower doors slide in, you know, that middle part. Pretty big too, left a bump. This nice bruise. And it's on the foot they're gonna do surgery on. The problem with that is when I was wheeling around, so y'all would have died laughing at me probably. Or hopefully you would have had pity on me. I was doing a trial run of using my wheeled walker plus my old wheeled office chair that doesn't have enough cushion for sitting in long periods of time. But anyway, so they're all up there. And I tried to navigate. I actually went outside to my grill. I have a burner on it. And I managed, gonna say that a lot, to make myself a grilled cheese sandwich. And it was not easy. A lot of wheeling myself back and forth, of trying, of dropping things, of, you know, it's like if I held it in my hand outside food, I dropped it. You know, my phone, you know. And I actually did drop food, but my plate of cooked food, I did not. Thank God. I would have been really mad. And it was tiring, and it was, you know, all of that. And I have a whole new respect for people who have to live in a wheelchair. Just a ton of kudos, respect to you. All right, I learned this from somebody. I am never, ever, ever, ever gonna get these lined up and straight. So I'm not even gonna pretend to try. And because it's going through so much, it takes a little bit more effort. So yeah, I mean, I could do this if I wanted. Like, leave that in place. But I don't like that. It creates a bump where I don't need one. Alrighty. And then this one we're gonna do off again. I've already inked. Anyway, so yeah, it was just this whole thing, y'all, and I just, oh my gosh, it was just so maddening and so tiring, and it wasn't that warm outside, like 80 degrees, but I'm sweating like you wouldn't believe. Trying to navigate and remembering, you know, no wait, no wait, no wait. Now, obviously, when I come home and I'm doing this, I'm going to learn real fast not to put weight on that foot, like even on the heel. Because, like, trying to get in the shower, I'm trying to reach over, get the grab bar, get with my feet, like, I'm sitting down and my feet are in the walk-in shower. And then I have to reach over really far, get the grab bar, and then haul myself up. Now, when Michael and I tried it, we went in my favorite way, which is the back way, closest to the door. And that actually, with a step stool, one of those little tiny foldable kitchen step stools, that actually worked. It wasn't easy, and it's going to be tiring, but even with my shoe off, and I do actually have an outdoor slip-on shoes, kind of like Crocs, without the thingy in the back. But because, you know, it's one thing, I was telling somebody, I said, you know, it's one thing to get in there, practice getting in there when, you know, you're fully clothed. It's going to be a whole nother thing when you're naked, wet, and slippery. So that was my issue that I was having, you know, being wet, naked, and slippery, trying to get in there. I'm going to just leave a little bit of a gap there, because I kind of like that look with a little bit of paper peeking out, as opposed to it being perfect. I know. Who am I? What did you do with Laura? Laura's trying to chillax just a little bit. As soon as I'm done filming this part, I'm going to refill my glue bottle and clean it. I swear it will be done. Probably one of the best movies of the 90s, or the 80s, is The Princess Bride. Trying to get that without getting my face all in it. There we go. Oops, went on a little crooked. Oh well. Not gonna sweat it. Only because it would be a little difficult. I feel like there's there. There we go. And then there we go. Let's go right here. There. And none of them match, which is perfect. All right. Now, I have not inked around the edges. I think I will. I'm going to use, put your pen in your glue. Dippy. Dippity dip 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 dip. I also have something else to show you after I'm done doing this cover. What am I doing? Oh, it's like suddenly my mind went blank. I can't remember what I was doing. Or remember why I put anything. I, again, am going to use ground espresso for this. Because, you know, it really doesn't matter. I don't care. Come on, go down. I don't care if my inkies don't match. And it's green, so it's really not going to show up that much. I know. I'm trying to think of something to say. Alright, so now comes the gluing. Oops, nope, now comes the sinking. Do it right, come on now. Get it right. So that part doesn't matter as much. This will get inked on the outside. This being inked. So this is, you know, something you can do. And I put everything right side up. Well, not that it really matters at this point, because those aren't on there, and those are directional. So lightly glue. Gotta remember, I'm going to sew around this. So I had, speaking of sewing, I made this little pillow for down here, you know, to put my foot on. And I could not thread the needle for my sewing machine to save my life. I'm telling you, the first time, it probably took me 30 times. You cut the needle, you slice, you know, you cut the thread, so you get a finer point. Yeah, that didn't work. Cut it again, cut it again, cut it again. Lick, 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 lick. Every trick that I could think of. And finally, I got it done. And I was making, where'd they go? I was making these bookmarks. And to sew around. So I got this thread on there. Finally, got it threaded and used it, and then changed it out because I was doing something else, and then I had to friggin' sew it all back in again, thread it all back in again, and neither one of them wanted to do anything. It really was a nightmare. It's like, I was talking to Kyung Shotwell at the same time. Like, I can't get the damn thing threaded, because she was helping me with my pillow. Gotta get it. So here's my pillow. The fun fabric underneath my desk. Now I'm just going to glue these edges. I'm making a decision right this second. Just to glue these down. I get every corner of this. Because, again, I'm going to sew it down. So I don't, there we go. So I'm not going to glue right there. I'm not going to waste my time. Really need to clean this glue bottle. I'm having to, as you see, I'm having to do this. It's getting too hard to squeeze. And I've tried the little ones, and they're even harder for me to do. This big one, I don't know why. I cannot explain it, because, you know, I've talked to other people about it, and they're like, well, I can't do that because this, you know, how does this is harder on my hands. And I'm like, well, I don't know why. I could not tell you why. I'm the odd one. Alrighty, oops. Dadgummit. Stick back on it. Moved it too soon. Here we go. No. I did it exactly how I told myself not to. Exactly how I told myself not to. And told you guys not to. There. Good night, nurse. Dipshit. Sorry. Excuse my language. Oh well. Easily fixable. Caught it in time. Caught it in time. Gonna sew there, so I don't really, doesn't really matter, as long as it kind of tacks down. And now I gotta go thread my machine. Okay, so this is the first part of this. Oh, crying in a bucket. Now this was just a scrap piece of the Junk Journal Studios that I was like, oh, this would be a perfect size for the little girl. And I get down there, you dumb thing. I have to glue again. Because you know what, short and stout. There we go. actually covers that one up perfectly. All right, there we go. Okay, so here we are. Everything's on right side up. Not quite, just barely tacked down. So here's the cover, front and back. And then we will have a pocket, if anything can go in it, a tight pocket, a looser gusseted pocket, because this one's gusseted, and I didn't think to gusset the big ones. Pocket, just clearing it, pocket. There we go. This is the beginning of a fall journal, one of hopefully many. And I am going to go sew, and at some point you will be seeing this. All right. Talk to you when I come back.